Welcome to another online meeting hosted by Sobriety Engine. All are welcome in our meetings, and we thank you for joining us. Sobriety Engine is an online platform that provides meetings and resources to people struggling with drug or alcohol addiction. Sobriety Engine is not a 12-step fellowship. However, all 12-step fellowships are welcome in our meetings. We understand that many of us who attend online meetings will have a recovery background and a 12-step fellowship. For that reason, we welcome you to share about your sponsorship, the 12 steps, your experience with spiritual principles, and any lessons you may have learned in the big book, the simple text, or any 12-step literature. Sobriety Engine is also accepting of other related programs. Your program is your program. We support you being here. Maybe this digital meeting is your first taste of recovery. If so, we hope you come here with an open mind and willingness to listen to others. Sobriety Engine also accepts and welcomes people from all walks of life, regardless of your skin color, your belief systems, your gender, or your sexual identity. You are welcome in our online meetings. Finally, we ask that you come into our meetings with an open mind about spiritual principles. Many of us are clean and sober today because of the spiritual principles we have founded our lives on. No one will push their beliefs on you. We will only welcome you with open arms. Some rules for today. This will be a speaker meeting. The host will introduce the speaker and allow time for the speaker to share their story. During the share, I ask all members to please keep their microphones muted. When the speaker is done sharing, the meeting will be open to offer support and encouragement, any pressing matters members may be experiencing, or general questions for the guest speaker. When we do open up the meeting, please keep your shares to about 3 minutes. If you want to speak, please raise your hand and I will call on you. Please make sure that your shares are respectful, and if you're on the camera, please make sure that you're clothed and acting appropriately. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for showing up today. My name is Travis. I will be the meeting host, and I'm grateful for y'all to share your time with us on this beautiful Saturday. Today, our speaker will be Gail. As always, I ask our speakers to come up with 2 words that they believe describe their stories in recovery. She said, "I am safe" and "I am enough" expresses her journey. I felt that this quote was suitable for her. Always be prepared, always be yourself, and always be honest. That is a good recipe for self-respect, self-love, and self-worth. And what these words meant to me was that being safe enough for me in my recovery requires awareness and wholesomeness and a faith in my program. I have always longed for security in my addiction. And today I can say I'm safe without my addiction, and I know I'm enough for myself. So let's take a deep breath together, and we'll listen to Gail share. All right, Gail, share with us your story.
Hi, everybody. Gail, alcoholic here. Just bear with me. This is not something I'm used to doing. So, and I'm not really good with focus, so I will try. But I think it really starts about 4 years back. I was in quite a stressful situation with dealing with my ex, and I had health issues at that time, and I had realized that what I was doing in my life just wasn't working. And so I started to search for help, and tried a lot of things. And a quote that has really stuck with me by Wayne Dyer is, "Be open to everything, but attached to nothing." So just about anything interested me, maybe this will help, maybe that will help. I've tried therapy and personal coaching, and I started doing some hypnotherapy, and it was regression hypnotherapy. And one particular session stands out in my mind to do with relationships. and dealing with emotions, and really interesting. I am going somewhere with this. She started off with, if you could go back to when you first felt anger, and it was, I'm not sure if it's typical of all hypnotherapy, but whether it's in your adulthood, your childhood, in the womb, past lives, open to everything. So during that, I went back, and it was 1 month in the womb. And I thought that was weird. And she said, don't think, just be there. Terribly angry, no idea why. During that same session was fear. And it was 4 months in the womb. And it took me a few days to figure out, I was thinking, what was going on in my mom's life when she was pregnant with me, and it hit me because I buried so many things, things happen, you just put it in a file and go on. My mom, during her entire pregnancy with me, bled. She was always told she would lose the baby. Each time she went to the doctor, why are you here? I'm still pregnant. After I was born, she kept bleeding, and they found cancer. She had cancer in the uterus, and basically it was growing right alongside me, a few cells away. So I don't know, they talk about trauma being in your DNA. Well, there it was, right beside me. Growing up at home, I can look back and I can say I had a good childhood. Neither of my parents were alcoholics. They both worked very hard to provide for us, tried to have a good family, very strong on discipline. And we didn't talk. Nothing was talked about, ever. If something bad happened, you cleaned up the mess as best you could and you went on, never spoken of again. When I was 5, walking home from school, walking home with a friend, because back then it was safe, older boys came up, started teasing us. One of them pushed me down, and I remember I was wearing my favorite green dress. One of them pushed me down. My panties were down. And my neighbor, who was babysitting me after school, came running up screaming, and the boys took off. And the only thing that was ever said, nothing was ever said, but I knew my parents knew, because I got about an hour-long bath that night from my mom. She didn't say a word. And it was an unspoken rule. You don't talk. You just don't talk. So that just got filed away. When I was in high school, I was woken up one morning by my parents to talk to the police. It was winter, and they'd noticed imprints. My bedroom is in the basement. Imprints outside my bedroom window. Somebody was sitting there outside my bedroom window. And that morning they had found the imprint of a baseball bat. So they called the police to question me. Is there somebody that was trying to date me? Somebody that was angry at me? No, I had no idea. So from then on in, I undressed in the dark. I got dressed in the dark. I was always very book smart. I skipped grade 2 because my parents were told by my teacher, she's bored. She knows everything. I had taught myself to read. And that's what we do. We teach ourselves things. So I skipped grade 2. I don't recall them ever asking me if I wanted to, but you just did what you were told. And being small, I've been small all my life. At my tallest, I was 5'1.5". Very proud of that ½ inch. Now I'm 5 foot nothing. I have shrunk. I'm 54. I'm old. Being small and being a year behind everybody else, I was always trying to prove myself, trying to fit in. And I think that's where my people pleasing started. So I would do whatever it took to fit in. And that kind of followed all the way through high school. And in high school, partying started, and you do what everybody else did. And I can still remember, people asking me, well, what do you want to drink? Well, I said whiskey, because I saw my dad drinking whiskey. Neither one of them drank very much. And I could probably count on one hand how many times I'd seen either one of them drunk. But, that was my dad's drug of choice. So, okay, I got that. And I remember it was disgusting, totally disgusting. But hey, I'm fitting in, right? So that was my thing. And I also discovered that after a couple drinks, I felt like I fit in. I belonged more. I called it being myself. I'm not sure if that was myself, but the anxiety left. So yeah, I became a partier along with the rest of my friends. Right after high school, I went straight into nurses training. And during the second year of training, part of our psych rotation was spending 2 weeks in a rehab. And we were there not to be nurses, but they said, go through the program as if you are a participant, and learn what they are learning, and try and imagine yourself in those shoes. Well, I remember it was a bell curve of 25 points, along this bell curve to addiction. And each yes along the way, I had 23 out of 25 yeses. I'd already had a few blackouts by that point. And I remember that scared the living shit out of me. I thought, holy crap. I never thought of my drinking as a problem, but here it is in black and white. It's a problem. So I thought, I better back off. And I did, because at that time I was also afraid of, I have one shot at becoming a nurse because I can't afford it. I can't afford to repeat anything. So I really backed off, and, I would still go out with friends, but I felt like I smartened up. After nurses training, I went out and started working. I had become an RN by the age of 19 because I had accelerated in school. And I was dating a guy I was very close to. We became very close. And he was an alcoholic who had quit drinking 4 years before. And, he had realized that it wasn't for him. As I got to know him better, I realized, he pretty much just traded booze for drugs. He traded one addiction for another. And he had a lot of issues. He had a terrible childhood that he hadn't dealt with. We had thought about getting married, and I don't know why he started drinking again, and he is definitely somebody who shouldn't be drinking. He was an entirely different person. I broke up with him, and about a month and a half after I broke up with him, he showed up at my door. And he was drunk, and against my better judgment, I I let him in. I think he kind of pushed his way in. Of course, there's no reasoning with him. He wouldn't leave. And he tried to kill me. He was strangling me. And the lights were going out. And I remember thinking, just do it. Do it and be done with it. But he stopped and then just spent the rest of the night raping me. So I got up the next morning. Now, this is strange because I have told a few people this. And always in a detached way. Anyways, I got up the next day. And true to form, don't talk, file it away. I showered, put makeup on for the bruises, and just went about my day. So a few months later, I met my ex, and he was a good guy, I thought. Really good guy. We had so much fun together. We could talk just about anything. We talked a lot. We had good conversations. He seemed like my guy. But I have to say, he was 12 years older than me, and he was a Marine. He'd done 1.5 tours in Vietnam. I don't remember the first time he told me he loved me, but I can still hear him say, "I'll never hurt you. I'll always protect you." So when he asked me to marry him, I said yes. And I did love him. I really did. And we had not a great marriage. We had a lot of good times, I have 2 beautiful children who are my world. But I don't think it was a marriage that was meant to be. It was for all the wrong reasons. And for years, my drinking was, I guess you could call normal. We go out with friends, have a few drinks, go home, whatever. But even back then, I used drinking as a stress reliever, because the first time he told me that he had cheated on me, I went out, I got a case of wine coolers, drank them all that night. Even though that wasn't my go-to, it just was a reaction. And I made the decision to try and make it work, because he did seem terribly remorseful. He had lost so much weight from stress. So I thought, I'm staying, and things seemed to be good for a while. I got pregnant with my son, had my son. Things continued. He again cheated on me while I was pregnant. I remember driving around looking for his truck when I could barely reach the pedals. And this is being short again. By the end of my pregnancy, I could hardly reach the foot pedal because I had to have the seat back because my belly was so big. I'm reaching. And I remember thinking, I can't do this. I have to let it go, because I cannot be strapping a kid into the car going looking for my husband. So I made the decision that whatever happens, happens. After we had Ryan, things seemed to get better again. Life went on. I had Jordan. And when I was pregnant with Ryan, I did not drink a drop, not a drop. You know, I'm going to be the best mom ever. But I remember thinking, you know, as soon as this baby is out, I'm having a Bailey's on the delivery table. Well, of course, that never happened. And for most of the rest of my marriage, I really didn't drink. Again, there was a few times here and there. My high school reunion, yeah, I went and got drunk with my friends. Have the odd glass of wine. But looking back, I had traded one addiction for another. I developed a shopping addiction. eBay, yeah, gotta love eBay. Food, I put on a lot of weight. And that also gave me an out. You know, if I'm overweight, well, no wonder my husband is stepping out because he's got this fat wife, right? But about 3 years before I left my ex, my daughter is in grade 10, I knew that I was leaving. I was done. I'd had enough. I felt like my soul was dying. But I made the decision to stay until Jordan was done high school. Well, I got close to one of the girls at work and found out that she made wine. And I'm into learning all kinds of things. So I would go over and she taught me how to make wine. And man, did we make wine. Her son was getting married and we made 8 batches of wine for her son's wedding. She had an entire room dedicated to making wine. And I started getting back into drinking. It was fun. And again, I felt like I could be myself. I could talk. Because remember, I grew up with you just don't talk. And one of my parents' favorite saying was, you don't air your dirty laundry in public. So I didn't. I never talked about any of this stuff. Nobody knew. None of my family knew that my ex was cheating on me. Because you don't talk about it. You deal with things on your own. But drinking, come on, bud. Drinking, I could talk. My tongue loosened up. Okay, go. No. I guess he muted me. Sorry. Kids, eh? Where was I? Yeah, so I became really close to this friend and we would make wine together, have a full day of bottling wine and then drinking it, sitting in the hot tub, and I could talk. I felt like I could talk again. And so when my daughter was ready to graduate high school, I told my ex, you know, I'm done. And we separated. And that was also a very stressful time because at the time, oil crashed here. No, it was during the boom, before the crash. And okay, I've got another cat here. I've got 2 cats now, guys. There was no place to rent. I mean, there were people bringing their campers, living in campers, and there were even people renting sea cans to live in because there was no place. Construction was at an all-time high, building hotels and apartments and stuff, trying to house all these people that had come into the area for the boom. So a year and a half after separating from my ex, I was still living with him because there was no place for either one of us to go. That was stressful. I continued to drink and eventually he moved out and I started a string of relationships. And looking back, this is my need for protection. All my life, I felt unsafe, needing protection. So the guys that I was attracted to ended up dating. Stop that. Were big guys, and they were the bad boys because they could handle themselves and they could also protect me. That didn't work. Obviously, it didn't work. And my last relationship I was in was with an alcoholic, also a very big guy, also a guy who could handle himself. And man, did he have issues. And part of the reason I think I dated him is because by that time, I was drinking enough that I wanted to be with somebody who drank as much as I did. And it seemed to work fine until it didn't. Go on. So, like I said, about 4 years ago, I started exploring different ways of trying to deal with my issues, doing a lot of self-help things when I wasn't drunk, learning. I've done Reiki, I've done Huna energy, I am a certified life coach, but it's my fear, it's my self-protection that keeps me from moving forward with it. And last fall, after I broke up with the last guy, because enough is enough, my drinking really got out of hand, drinking daily. And finally, after Christmas, I realized enough is enough. And that's when I found Sobriety Engine. And I've tried all kinds of things. Sorry, guys. Come on. Because I think I finally realized that alcohol is the biggest thing holding me back. And watching YouTube videos, reading podcasts. But it wasn't until I found these meetings and started really attending them that I realized that I need people. And as scared as I am of people, I need people. And I need real people, and I need healthy people. And nobody is 100% healthy. None of us are. We're all dealing with our issues. But I've said it so many times, this group is my family. This group I trust because you are in many ways exactly where I am. Maybe not in details, but you are exactly where I am. You feel the same weaknesses, the same pain. The details are different, but you are my people. And I can share this. You know, today is full moon, and that's one of my things. And full moon is all about releasing. It's all about forgiveness, and it's all about gratitude. And there are layers to all of it. You know, you release one thing, you forgive one thing, another thing comes up. It's just a cycle. And that's the way it'll be until the day I die. That's the way it'll be until all of us die, for all of us. But it just takes practice and it takes doing. And I'm learning that. And the saying that do one thing a day that scares you is really true because you'll never get over it until you do. So this is my one thing a day. I have told snippets of my story before, always in a very detached way. And detachment serves me well in my job because when an emergency comes up at work at the hospital, I'm on it. I'm good. And I shine. People ask me, how do you do it? You detach. You do what you have to do. Afterwards, you can fall apart. But I never did that either because I file things away. And it's time to dig out those files and deal with it. She's back again. Come on. So I I have a psychiatrist appointment on Monday. I think I've shared this before. My daughter is ADHD, and apparently 85% of kids with ADHD have one or both parents with that. And doing more research on that, because I love doing that, I think I probably am. Explains a lot of my lack of focus and a lot of my million-mile-an-hour mind. If that's the case, you know what? I'm going to be grateful for it. I'm not interested in medication, but I am interested in finding out ways I can deal with that. Because I'm no longer interested in detaching. I'm no longer interested in filing things away. Now she's eating my orchid. Come on, get away. Stop it. There's my orchid. I'm no longer interested in hiding. And you know, the fear has followed me to this day. I've realized, you know what? Every night before I go to bed, I at least double check my doors. I have a baseball bat under my bed, and I have a hunting knife in my bedside table. Do I need that? Probably not. I also have 2 body pillows in my bed that I cocoon myself in. Do I need that? I probably don't. And maybe it's time to learn to live with all that shit. I mean, live without all that shit. Without. So that's what I'm working on. For me, alcohol is both a disease and a symptom. It's a symptom of me trying to hide, trying to protect. And if I've learned one thing, there is no good thing about alcohol. There is nothing. The only benefit I can see in alcohol was probably 100 years ago, when there was no such thing as anesthetic and you needed something done. They'd pour whiskey down your throat, you know, to kind of numb you so you could survive the pain of whatever they needed to do. That no longer applies today. There is no good thing about alcohol. And if I can stop the numbing and deal with things, that's where my slips have come. Because today I'm 30 days continuous sober. And each time I've slipped since I started this end of January, I look back and I say, you know, what happened? What happened there? You know, I know it's not good for me. I know it's killing me. Why do I keep doing it? And I try and figure out, why the hell did I slip? And it's for one of those reasons. I was afraid. I didn't want to deal with these emotions. I didn't want to deal with something. And so I turned to the wrong thing. It's time to start turning to the right thing. And do something every day that scares you. Do the right thing. The right thing can be scary, but it's still the right thing. And I think I better stop there, because I'm starting to ramble. So, okay, I'm good. And I want to thank you, everybody, for being here. I love you all. I love you more than I can say, because I'm not good at saying I love you either. So that's it. If anybody has any questions, I don't know, go ahead.
Thank you for that share. So much bravery was required to expose so much of that, and I am grateful for your vulnerability to come on this platform and share the story with all of these people. I have whole page worth of notes. I think the thing that I relate the most was filing away my traumas, like, because I was kind of raised in a family myself where there wasn't very good communication involved. And when a lot of traumatic things happened to me, I just filed them away. And it was in high school when I found my alcohol and my drugs, and I started, filing more things away because it was easier for me to do so with these new substances. And my life soon became unmanageable in many ways. I don't want to hold the floor too long, but I do want to say thank you so much, Gail. It was an incredible story. I have love for you. Um, so if anyone wants to reach out for Gail, please do so.
Hi, Geraldine Alcoholic. Gail, I want to thank you so much for your transparency. I mean, I heard a lot of me in there. And like Travis just said, that filing away, that's how it was when I was young. Now I know how old you are. We're a couple years apart. I'm older and I'm shorter. No, but I did the same thing with the guys and the family and stuff. And I just hurt for you so bad what you shared with us as a little girl. It just breaks my heart. I mean, that happened to me. I was at 14, but as a little girl, and then holding that all in for your whole life, I can't even imagine. It just blows my mind how us alcoholics, we've all been through some trauma and we filed it away. And I think a lot of us numbed it. And that's how we became who we are, the alcoholic or the addict. Because all I wanted to do, once I learned alcohol numbed me, that's all I wanted to do. And that's what I hear in you. And it just breaks my heart that we have to go through this. We go through trauma and then we're hiding something, or we're not sharing something, or because we're just numbing it and we're so good at it. I just really, really want to thank you for your share. And I just want to tell you, I love you. We love you. And just stay here and don't leave us. Just thank you so much. I'm not trying to make it about me, but it's just like I'm not alone. It's just so sad how what we have to endure. And then we still are at our age. We're still, okay, that happened to me, but now I'm an alcoholic. Now I'm trying to get sober. Now, I mean, we're always going to try and try and try. But you're doing such a great job, and I love you, and I'll let somebody else share. Thank you.
I'm going to share next, Gail. So much respect, so much power, so much love for you for what you've done. Okay. Like Jerry said, a lot of us have similar circumstances. I do. Mine are different than yours. The events were different, but the crap and the pain and all that, a lot of that is there too, and I'm not trying to one up here or nothing. I've been talking to my psychiatrist for a long time, and EMDR was part of my journey. Hypnotherapy was part of my journey. There's something that he told me, and I think Omar does it. It's called mirroring. When something happened to us a long time ago, a little boy inside of me was silenced. He didn't have a voice. What happened wasn't cool. Who did it wasn't cool. Telling somebody about it wasn't cool. Nothing happened. He didn't have a voice. Today he has a voice. My little boy is talking to your little girl right now. Your little girl needs to talk. Your little girl needs to tell that psychiatrist what's going on, because what happens for me, what helps is I'm safe now. I'm no longer 8 years old and I'm no longer back there. And that's a position of power. And I didn't file mine. I didn't file it. I forgot it. It was put away, and it's rocking back now. So I'm going through it now, and I want to go through that now so I can unpack that. There's a saying in our circles, you know, secrets keep us sick, and they do. They do. So, you know, I love you so much, and I'm so proud of you. And give it all to the psychiatrist. Give it to him. So give it to him or her. That way you don't have to carry this anymore. You don't have to carry it anymore. You know what? You're safe. Your little girl needs to speak. And I respect you more than I'll ever be able to share in this group.
Yeah, one of the things I guess I'll reach out and you touched a lot of base on like alternative medications and stuff, and I think that's important because I think it's part of running our programs. You know, because not all of us are cut from the same stone, so some of us have different needs and stuff. And like you mentioned, like the Reikis and the alternative energies and stuff like that. Like those are the things that I relate to, and I think to an extent it's kind of this is about a journey of going down spirituality, and I think part of our spiritual journey is having to come to terms with a lot of our traumas that we've had to bear in our lives, and a lot of times it's we don't want to visit the trauma because you know whatever happened in that traumatic event isn't pleasant. Um, but I like what Leo has to say a lot about getting rid of all of that pus. You know, it's all of these traumas are infecting my soul from being from shining bright and being clean and healed and promoting a good aura of positivity. I've got all this this heavy weight that I'm holding on to, and I think that this space is a really good place to be able to get that stuff out. And um, the amount of honesty and truth that all of us are able to exhibit in this platform on Sobriety Engine and in this meeting is it helps me a lot as well. Like I relate to the family aspect of this too because I have a great amount of trust in all of you, and I know that I can get rid of I can expose my secrets and know that you guys will trust me and allow me to heal and get what needs to be said out. And I think that it's just an incredible share. It really was. I hope a lot of people hear this message and are able to find the help that they need. And I think our stories are capable of telling a lot of experiences that a lot of us prefer to hide behind. And as these meetings go further, I don't know if I'll ever be not amazed by the amount of connection within this addiction, this disease that is it's like a wildfire, and it's out of control. And I'm thankful that there's a platform like this that allows me to be safe and has allowed me to find that I am enough. Everything that I need and everything that I own to be a happy, righteous person has always been within myself. As long as I am willing to start pulling out the files I've tucked away for a long time. And I think that's the biggest message that I got out of you, Gail. Like so many great words, and but filing it away is going to stick with me for a long time. So thank you for that. Does anybody have any questions or anything that they would like to reach out for Gail with in the last couple of moments here, or anything Gail would like to share with us again?
I want to thank everybody for being here and for all of your support. And if it wasn't for the connection and the family that I have felt here, I would never have been able to do this. And I'm going to look up EMDR and mirroring. I open to everything. I'm not interested in hiding anymore. I'm not interested in staying in the past. I'm all about building a good future, a good life, and helping my kids. And if I can help anybody, that's what I want. And mindfulness, I have to say, I'm becoming more mindful. And the more days sober I have, the easier that becomes. And I realized what I did. Turn off my video after I shared. Yeah, I've had a few tears and they're still coming. But, if I'm going to be open, I'm going to be open. You can see my tears because I've seen lots of yours. And just feeling my whole body shake. Something I heard on a podcast the other day. What do you see from an animal? They shake off their stress and then they're done with it. Well, my body started shaking and I just let it go. If anybody has any questions, hey, I'm open.
Hi, Gail. This is Gustavo, alcoholic. Thank you for your share. I've been listening. My heart goes out to you. This path of recovery and getting in touch with our inner selves and the healing that we have to go through could be a long one. Important thing is to be protective, and keep moving forward with this path of recovery. The steps have really brought me from a place that that was very, very painful. It's been a long road to even get close to where I'm at, and now it just really, really push and say with much love to continue on this road of recovery for self-healing. Take time to like you do, right? You have the oversized pillows and right, but I don't think I think those things are great. Enjoy them, hug them, toss them under your leg and just stretch out, right? These things are the simple things. That's how we show ourselves self-care. I remember this my ex lady friend, her daughter, she had bought like some lotion for your hands, and she told me, hey, try it, right? Because I have been making have working man's hands, right? So they're like all hard and cut and cracked, right? Like a desert floor. So I tried it and I'm like, squeezing it in there. And she's like, no, you have to be gentle. And I didn't even know what I was doing. I thought I was doing it just fine. And it kind of like dawned on me, like just how ungentle I am with myself at times. And this last few days, it's just really been focused on loving myself, looking at myself. Last night was definitely particularly challenging, right? It's a Friday night. It seems like everybody got somewhere to go except me, right? So I read 2 stories on the back of the book. Just one wasn't doing it, so I read 2 last night, and really related to the people in there, right? Because I suffer from a disease of alcoholism that has me doing all kind of stupid things, right? Despite of the warning facts that is not working. And I have to stand in front of the mirror and coach myself and remind myself that forgiving myself for the hurts, right? And coaching myself that everything's gonna be okay. And I found that little piece of love for myself, this on that challenge last night, right? And it wasn't challenging that I wanted to get loaded, but it was challenging with my emotions of loneliness. And but really, isn't that why we usually get loaded, right? Like get our feelings hurt, or I know for me, I get my feelings hurt or get emotionally or get affected in a way that I don't know I've been affected. And next thing I want to do is I want to get high, right? I want to get high so I could, have that as excuses. I'm no longer feeling this, not really knowing what I'm doing, but I'm triggered, right? And the self-care, the love for oneself, the meditations, the readings, the slowing down, the taking care of ourselves is it's very important here. Um, I guess I'm sharing a lot of that because that's where I'm at, and just enjoying this peaceful day, right? Uh, some days it's harder to get up than others, and I'm glad that today's a bright day. It doesn't, despite of the sun out there, it usually feels like a gloomy day, right? But I'm glad that I recognize and I'm present to the moment of being a nice bright day out there. And thank you for your share. And I definitely agree with Leo that I was able to find that inner child myself. There's a picture of me. I don't know. I must have been like 3, maybe 4, definitely about 3, and holding my uncle's hand, and my mom's right next to me. So was my other aunties, and my goodness, man, the bags underneath my eyes, the fear that I had in there, I just looked terrified. I guess I could really see how terrified I was, and that was stuck with me of how my life was at that youth, right? And I think about that, and it doesn't move me no more in a negative way, in a sad way. It's just now I'm glad, and I thank that little boy for sticking with it, for going through what he had to go through to survive, right? Create whatever walls and stories and whatever he had to do to survive, because he was able to survive. He was able to turn into me, and I love him for that. I love myself for that, for being able to be that strong, despite of how scared I was. Um, so I would ask you to continue in this path of recovery, Gail. And my name is Gustavo, and I am a recovering alcoholic. Thank you.
Wonderful share, Gustavo. And I actually, one of the things that I did, because I found pictures of myself too, and I was like, wow, I kind of look like I'm afraid in this picture or something like that. I'm actually getting in a process of writing myself letters to those pictures, just for another way to talk to your inner child if you're good at writing or not. It's an interesting way to journal. And also about the self-care, a good question that came to my head was, not really a question, but when I was in addiction, I was always asking, what can I do for you so that you can get away from me so I can do what I got to do? Where, today is like, what have I done for myself so that I can take care of you? And it's like the meditations and the morning routines and making my bed in the morning, like that's taking care of me. So now I can take care of you a little bit better instead of like, get away from me so I can go, just the way the mind starts cleaning up and thought patterns start changing. It's part of the recovering and the healing process. Yeah, this has been a great meeting. Still got a few moments left if anyone wants to get a quick word in. All right, everyone. We can go ahead and wrap this meeting up. I want to say thanks again for Gail for volunteering to share her story and coming here with an incredible amount of transparency, courage, vulnerability, a beautiful, powerful share. You're going to save a lot of lives, and I hope that you can come back in a little bit of time and view this diary for yourself and see how far you've grown since this moment. With that being said, everyone go on with a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Stay safe. Remember that you always have a place to come to that is safe on Sobriety Engine. We will have another meeting, I think maybe tonight, maybe not. There's usually meetings every night, so hopefully I'll see you guys then, and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, Gail. Love you all.
Thanks, everybody. Love you all. And thank you, Travis, so much.
Absolutely, you guys. Stay safe, guys.
Gail, you got to change the spelling of your name. from GAIL to GALE because you're a force.
Actually, I guess my mom did want to name me and spell it that way after the actress Gail Storm, but my dad said no.
I'm just saying, you know, something to think about.
Thanks.
All right, guys, be safe.